Hello, and welcome to Creative Arts, the podcast where we explore the deep and fascinating history of Black creativity across the arts. I am Jessica, and I am thrilled to have you here as we embark on this journey through the many layers of Black contributions to the creative and performing arts. Each week, we uncover incredible innovators, spotlight sensational stories, and amplify the voices that have shaped our cultural landscape in ways that often go unrecognized. This season, we're celebrating trailblazers who open doors not just for themselves, but for generations to come. Before we step into our main story, we begin today's episode with a special creative arts news update, a look at what's happening right now in the Black arts community. We start with heartbreaking news. Legendary neo-soul singer and songwriter D'Angelo, born Michael Eugene Archer, has passed away at the age of 51. According to his family, D'Angelo died on October 14th, 2025, in New York City after a private battle with pancreatic cancer. Known for his rich voice, spiritual depth, and sonic innovation, D'Angelo helped define modern R&B through his groundbreaking albums Brown Sugar, Voodoo, and Black Messiah. A public celebration of life will be held on November 2nd, 2025 at the Apollo Theater in Harlem, followed by a private family service. In a statement his family shared, "We are heartbroken, but we celebrate the legacy of a man whose music healed and inspired millions." From Erykah Badu to her, his influence is timeless, a revolutionary who turned soul into liberation. In other news, a major moment for Southern hip-hop history, Cash Money Records and No Limit Records went head-to-head in a monumental versus battle on October 25th, 2025 in Las Vegas. This matchup brought decades of culture to one stage. Birdman, Juvenile, Mannie Fresh, and BG, among many others, representing Cash Money, while Master P, Mia X, Snoop Dogg, and more embodied the No Limit legacy. What made this versus so special wasn't just nostalgia. It was a tribute to Black independence in music. Both labels rose from New Orleans streets to global fame without major label backing, proving that artistry and ownership can coexist. Fans dubbed it Culture versus Hits, with No Limit representing the hustle blueprint and Cash Money delivering the chart-topping anthems. No matter who won, one thing was clear: the South reigns supreme. And a final story that reminds us why art matters. In Shaker Heights, Ohio, high school senior Amani Smith McDaniel took center stage for a deeply moving dance performance, months after losing her left leg in a sudden medical emergency. Instead of stepping away, Amani relearned movement, rebuilt her strength, and choreographed a return that brought her audience to tears. Under the bright stadium lights, surrounded by her team, she danced with grace, joy, and triumph. In her own words, "Don't give up. It'll all get better." Her story is a reminder that the creative arts are more than just performance. They're resilience in motion. This episode's feature takes us back in time to honor one of the greats, a true pioneer of Black cinema, Oscar Micheaux. Widely regarded as the first major Black filmmaker in American history, Micheaux wasn't just a director or writer. He was a revolutionary. His work broke barriers, challenged stereotypes, and redefined what it meant to tell authentic Black stories on screen. His journey was far from simple. Born to parents who were once enslaved, Micheaux rose from the fields of Illinois to become an entrepreneur and filmmaker whose legacy still resonates today. Oscar Micheaux was born on January 2nd, 1884 in Metropolis, Illinois. And yes, that's the same Metropolis known as Superman's fictional home. But Micheux's superpower wasn't leaping tall buildings. It was his unshakable determination. The fifth of 13 children born to formerly enslaved parents, Michaux's early life was marked by struggle. His family sought better opportunities in a larger city, but financial hardships forced him back to farm life. These challenges planted the seeds for his resilience. They taught him self-reliance, a theme that would define his creative and entrepreneurial endeavors. In his 20s, Micheaux made the decision to move to South Dakota to become a homesteader. As a young Black man in the early 1900s, farming the vast plains alongside white settlers, many doubted his presence, but he continued his work. This experience shaped Micheaux profoundly. It wasn't just about surviving. It was about thriving in an environment that tried to exclude him. These years inspired his first novel, The Conquest, published in 1913. The book was somewhat of an autobiography as well, blending Michaux's personal journey with his belief in the power of self-determination. And here's where Michaux's resourcefulness shines. He self-published the novel and sold copies door to door, a grassroots effort that connected him directly with readers and laid the foundation for his later entrepreneurial venture. Before he became a filmmaker, Micheaux worked as a Pullman porter. Now, this wasn't just any job. It was one of the most prestigious positions a Black man could hold at the time. Traveling across the country, Micheaux met influential people, observed different culture, and absorbed valuable lessons in business and storytelling. The Pullman experience broadened his horizons, teaching him how to navigate complex social dynamics, a skill that would prove crucial when he transitioned into filmmaking. Micheaux wasn't just learning, he was preparing for the moment when his stories would reach audiences far beyond his immediate circle. In 1919, Micheaux took a monumental step. He adapted his second novel, The Homesteader, into a feature-length film, making history as the first major Black filmmaker. Historical records are scarce, but Evelyn Pierre, later hailed as the First Lady of Black cinema, is believed to have starred in the film. Many other cast members were local talent from Chicago, where the movie was filmed, according to archives from the Micheaux Film and Book Company. Historians suggest cast members earned around $5 a day, reasonable for indie filmmaking at the time. And production time? Micheaux, the ever-efficient filmmaker, completed shooting in just a few weeks. He kept costs low by filming on location in Chicago, using rented spaces and natural light. Micheaux financed the movie by selling shares directly to investors, a crowdfunding pioneer. And his own experience as a homesteader inspired much of the plot, blending personal struggles with fictional drama. But Micheaux wasn't just about creating entertainment. He was building a movement. His films tackled the pressing issues of the day: racism, segregation, and the struggles of Black communities. And they weren't just for Black audiences. Micheaux's work was a direct response to the racist narratives perpetuated by Hollywood. Take Within Our Gates, produced in 1920, for example. This film addressed the horrors of lynching and systemic racism, directly countering D.W. Griffith's The Birth of a Nation. Micheaux's work offered an alternative narrative, one that celebrated Black resilience and demanded a reckoning with America's darkest truths. Being a pioneer wasn't easy. Micheaux faced constant financial hurdles. He didn't have the backing of major studios, so he relied on independent financing, even selling stock in his production company. And let's not forget the blatant racism of the era. Many of his films were censored or outright banned by white authorities. But Micheaux didn't let these obstacles stop him. Over his career, He produced more than 40 films, many of which featured all-black casts, and tackled themes that mainstream Hollywood refused to touch. He created opportunities for actors like Paul Robeson and Evelyn Peer, proving that representation wasn't just a goal, it was a necessity. Micheaux drew inspiration from many sources. Booker T. Washington's philosophy of self-reliance deeply resonated with him, shaping his belief that Black progress depended on education and economic independence. His time as a homesteader instilled in him a sense of perseverance, while his Pullman porter days gave him the tools to navigate business and society. And though Micheaux wasn't formally part of the Harlem Renaissance, his work aligned with its mission to uplift and celebrate Black culture. Micheaux's personal life had its share of challenges. Orlean McCracken, Oscar Micheaux's first wife, annulled their brief marriage in 1911 due to her family's disapproval of Micheaux's financial struggles and ambitious lifestyle as a homesteader, which clashed with their expectations. Micheaux rebounded, later marrying Alice Russell, his second wife, who supported his filmmaking career by appearing in several of his movies, including The Betrayal, but their marriage faced challenges due to the financial instability and pressures of Micheaux's relentless dedication to his work. While Micheaux didn't have children, his creative legacy has inspired countless filmmakers and storytellers. Oscar Micheaux's films weren't just stories, they were statements. He gave Black audiences narratives that reflected their dignity and complexity in a world that often refused to see them. His work paved the way for filmmakers like Spike Lee, Ava DuVernay, and Barry Jenkins, proving that storytelling is a powerful tool for change. Micheaux's contributions have been recognized posthumously, including a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame and the creation of the Oscar Micheaux Awards by the Directors Guild of America. So why does Oscar Micheaux matter? Because he redefined what was possible. He showed that representation is more than just a buzzword. It's a lifetime of community striving to see themselves reflected in the world around them. Thank you for joining me on this journey into the life and legacy of Oscar Micheaux. If his story inspired you, share this episode and join the conversation using hashtag Creative Arts Podcast. Next time, we'll dive into the story of another Black creative who broke barriers and changed the game. Until then, stay creative, stay curious, and remember, our stories matter.